Good morning, everybody. I don't know where you are in the world, but I just want to say Happy New Year to all of you. Some of you have already been well into the new year, depending upon where you are in the world. So I thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me today. I love being able to help you all, wherever you are, to make it the best year ever. The last couple years, COVID and the collateral damage from that, the ripple effect from that, has left people in a place where they're like, what has been going on the last 2 years, and how can I get some traction and get on with my life in a way that's healthy and wholesome, and I feel like I'm being productive and I have a fulfilling life. And I believe that 2022 is the time for us that we can make a choice to do that regardless of our circumstances. So good morning to all of you, or if you're joining recorded at a time that's convenient for you, or you just stumbled upon this recorded message, hello. Make sure to send me a howdy and hello in the comments. I would love to be able to reach back out to you. So good morning and Happy New Year. We are going to make a hot drink. Maybe for some of you, it's a cold drink, depending upon where you are in the country. I know on the West Coast, it's been a little bit chilly. Here in the South, it's getting up to 75 today. And just kick up your feet. Grab a pen, paper. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Don't get too hung up on the perfectionism of it. I just have a little notebook here that I'm using. And it's got a little cat on the front. I got it over at the dollar store, Dollar General. And let's plan out your best year ever. Plan on spending about the next 55 minutes with me. This is a whole coaching, a series of coaching sessions that I do for people for a couple $100. I'm giving you the highlights of it for free today. If you want to dive into it more, send a message over at the Live on Purpose page. I'd be more than happy to schedule a time. Somebody on my team will go ahead and send you my calendar, and then you can book a time that's convenient for you, and we can pay. You can pay to play over there if you want to delve in more with your new year. But this content today I want to give to you for free. I think there's enough here that you can garner enough information and time if you put into it. You only get out of it what you put into it, so that you can have your best life ever. We only get one life, folks. That's it. So our goal should be about making it super amazing. And there's absolutely no point to limiting our dreams and holding ourselves back into what we truly want to do. And life is for expanding. It's for growing. It's for learning. It's for pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone and reaching the big dreams. And daring to even try to do that. It's in that space that we become truly who we are. And we become the best versions of ourselves. But if we stay cooped up in a cocoon, for some of you, I liken it to a bunch of hallelujah hobos sitting on a cloud strumming harps waiting for heaven. You're never going to grow into who God, the creator of the universe, has called you to be. So let's dive into this event today. Put your full energy into it. It's your life. You're only going to get out of your life what you put into it. And let's plan an incredible year together. I mean, just give yourself permission to dream big. So give me just a minute as I allow you to grab a pen and paper, maybe something hot to drink, take your phone with you or your iPad or whatever you're on, and go and make that happen. Because what we're going to do first is dive into 2021. I think it's good to get a rear view mirror perspective. We don't need a big mirror, big glass to look behind us, okay? But we do need to have the rear view mirror look at 2021 so that we can look at the windshield of 2022. So we're going to start there, and I'm just going to shift my screen over so that I can do that here. And this is going to be a time where you can write this down. I encourage you to write it down as I give you these questions just for you to think and ponder. It doesn't have to, this doesn't take a lot of time. You don't need to take hours, okay? This just takes a few minutes, folks, just a few minutes. So ask yourself these questions just in your head right now. We're going to write some things later, so be prepared to do that. But let's just ease into this a little bit, okay? But are you where you want to be? Are you where you want to be right now? Maybe in some areas of your life you are, and maybe in some areas you aren't. Are you where you want to be right now in your life? And if the pause feels uncomfortable, that's okay. I'm giving you time and space. I won't overspeak your thoughts. But are you where you want to be right now? And are you on track with what you've wanted to accomplish? Are you on track with what you have been wanting to accomplish? And for some of you, that's a celebration. And for some of you, you're frustrated. Now, everybody's in a different space, right? And then the last thing to just kind of get you dialed in and centered here before we start in is, are you happy and fulfilled in your life, or are you stuck and frustrated? Are you happy and fulfilled in your life, or are you stuck and frustrated? I'm having some ginger tea this morning that my mom gave to me. It's wonderful, and I'm drinking it in this cup that my boyfriend gave me, and I absolutely love it. It says on the inside, "Love you to the moon and back." These are things that I'm bringing into this space and time that make me feel good. And I have this candle behind me that I love the scent of it. So I'm creating this space of just positivity, if you will. And I don't want to get too, woo-woo about it, but creating this space and time for yourself gives you the opportunity to be free to think and dream. So create that space for you if you can. I'm now going to grab a pen and paper. Like I said, I'm using this journal. We're here for this hour of time, and so I want you to make the best use of it. This is not for you to write a long, drawn-out essay on anything. It could be a list of things. It could be just, some quick thoughts that you're writing down. But take the time to do this. If you're like, oh, I wish I had, this nice little notebook or something, but all I've got is a spiral notepad, take it. All I have is a legal yellow legal pad, take it. I have a few pieces of scrap paper around, take it. Don't be perfect about this. Let's just process through and get it done. We're going to say goodbye to 2021. And as we say goodbye to 2021, again, we're looking in the rear view mirror. That mirror is smaller than the windshield, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here. But it does help us to get set up for what we have coming ahead for us. So often we have big goals and dreams and plans, but they never materialize. And so the list can go on and on, but the reality is that months roll by and we don't feel like those things are enough, or we just abandon them because we get caught up in the busyness, in the weeds of life, and we kind of lose our way in what we had the intention of doing but didn't do. So the key here is to pay attention to why that is happening. As we look inwards and kind of create this awareness, we can start to understand why some things might be going amazingly well in some areas of our life and why other things aren't going to plan as we had planned them to be. And so as we do this together, we'll start to identify who you've been being, and then how you can better understand who you need to become in order to create the life, the business, the family, the relationships that ultimately bring you the fulfillment in your life. That's part of living on purpose, right? And so if we're going to live a life of purpose, let's take a moment to take a look at it. So There's no point in setting goals and expectations and intentions and dreams for a future if you don't have a handle on how you're showing up to bring those dreams into your life. So, are you ready to take a deep dive? Let's do this. Here's a suggestion. Have fun with it, okay? Don't get too belabored in any one question. And again, there'll be some silence here because I'm giving you some time to process. Let's sum up 2021. So you can just write 2021 on the top of your page. I'm going to do this with you because it's fun. Have fun with this. How would you sum up 2021 in a few words? How would you sum up 2021? What have you really loved about it? What did you not like about 2021? What amazing people came into your life? What cool things did you experience? Just write it all down. What did you really love, or what do you really love about 2021? And what did you not like about it? What amazing people came into your life? What cool things did you experience? Okay, if you're open to sharing some of those in the comments, feel free to do that. I'm going to share a few of those for me. 2021, how would I sum up the year? It was amazing. It was amazing. It was stressful. I would say that. I lost 90% of my business in the healthcare industry, directly related to COVID and restructuring for social health care in our country. And so I got kicked out of a segment of the industry, and I had to pivot. That was a really hard time for me this year. It happened in March. And I have been progressively, working toward gaining my business by repivoting, restructuring, rebranding. And that has forced me to grow. And so I'm so happy about that. But stressful, definitely stressful. And then I went skydiving this year. It was a blast. I went with one of my girlfriends, and we had a wonderful time. And it was freeing, it was exhilarating, and I enjoyed doing that. Had a couple of trips this year that I went on that were fun, and so that was great too. And then also, I have a new romantic relationship. I have not been in a long-term exclusive relationship in several years. And so this man I met a couple of years ago, we began dating this past year. And so that has been fun and new and fresh. And we're building a strong foundation for a lasting relationship. So that's been positive for me too in 2021. So how would you sum up the year of 2021 for you? What have you really loved about it? What did you not like about it? What was amazing? What amazing people came into your life? And what cool things have you experienced? Kyle says, rely more on God and give him more of my cares. There you go. How have you felt overall about 2021? As you reflect back, how do you feel about 2021? Put an emotion behind it. I gave you some emotions as I was talking this out. Stressful, right? Amazing, exhilarating, just happiness underlying all of that. So what are some emotions that you're attaching to 2021? Just jot them down. Again, we're looking through the rear view mirror at 2021. If you're just now hopping on, we just talked about how to sum up the year, which is pretty cool, and what that looked like for you, what you really loved about 2021, what you didn't like, what was amazing. I talked to you about my new romantic relationship this past year, you know, what new people have come into your life, what cool experiences. I talked about, you know, my skydiving experience. What things did you not like? I talked about, you know, I lost 90% of my business. Now what we want to do is attach a feeling to that, right? How have you felt? What do you feel about 2021 overall? What are some amazing achievements that you made? You know, big, small, write those down. And listen, if now's not a good time for you to do this, write down the questions and give yourself some space so you can come back and do, you know, those later. What amazing things did you achieve in 2021? And what things did you want to achieve, but you didn't? Don't feel bad about the fact that you didn't accomplish it or didn't make it happen. You know, I remind myself that everything happens in the right way in the right time. And everything I experience is a stepping stone for me to where I want to be, right? Sometimes we dive down this rabbit trail and we're like, wait, what? David says, stressful and challenging spiritual growth, more reliance on God. What are some emotions that you're attaching to 2021? Put them in the comments. Thanks, David. Thanks, Kyle. As we say goodbye to 2021 in the rearview mirror, what are your biggest frustrations and challenges? What are your biggest frustrations and challenges? I mean, get it all out. This is where you want to get it all out here. Is it a relationship, your job? Maybe you didn't have enough time to spend for yourself or your hobbies. Maybe it's, you know, your kids have been a challenge this year in one way or another. Maybe they're starting to adult and yet at the same time they're making mistakes and it's causing consequences that have a ripple effect through the family. Maybe it's young kids who COVID and returning to school has left you with a lot of lost time at work. I mean, where are the frustrations, the challenges? Maybe you've lost a loved one this past year. Maybe it's a divorce that's happening in your life. So what were the biggest frustrations and challenges? I mean, you can make a plan of action and how to make sure it doesn't hold you back in moving forward, but things happen, right? And so that often becomes the thing that holds us back from progressing. We're like, man, we should have been farther along, but this happened in our family and that everything got stalled out for, 6 months or whatever. You got COVID, your family's been going through illness, health issue. What doubts and fears kind of cropped up? For me, I hit some doubts and fears back in March of 2021 when, like I said, I lost 90% of my business, and I was like, man, am I going to be able to crank this out and continue to be self-employed and operate and run my own company as I have for the last 22 years, or do I need to go work for someone else? And do I have it in me to pull this off again? I've already founded and built out 7 companies in my career. Do I really want to do this again? So those were some challenges and fears that cropped up over the year of 2021. And now, as we leave 2021, we are going to surrender everything. Just surrender. Let go of them and don't hold on to last year. Can we cut sling load and say, these were the fears, these were the challenges, these were the things that didn't get done. This is how my life changed, and and impacted me in a negative way that stalled me out, just say to yourself, I surrender all. I surrender all. And then to the divine creator of the universe, say, I surrender all to you, right? You're the all-knowing creator of the heavens, the earth, and everything in it. I surrender all of it to you. And ask yourself, what do you need to do to make sure that these challenges and frustrations don't hold you back in 2022? What do you need to do in order to make sure that these challenges and frustrations don't hold you back this year? For me, believe it or not, I'm very authentic and vulnerable with you guys. I always have been in this community. I'm an introvert. You may not think that because it appears that I have a very outgoing personality and I'm on screen with you guys. We had 29,600 people come through here in the last month, just here on the Live on Purpose page. But I'm an introvert. I am a compulsive loner. Not loaning out money, but loner in that by myself. And so for me, the biggest challenge and frustration is trying to pivot my business and rebrand, which means I'm having to put myself out there in the medical community in a new way. And so that was frustrating and challenging for me. But I know that I need to leave these fears behind and break out of that so that I can rebrand my business in order to be successful in it. Kyle says, in this year, try to become better witness. COVID has slowed my business too, and it puts a lot of anxiety in people's lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you need to do in order to make sure these challenges and frustrations don't hold you back? I just listed, my personality is easy just to kind of hole up and isolate, and whatever I can do by myself is great. But I've had to lean into other people, friends and colleagues, to be held accountable for stepping out and going to more conferences and speaking at more medical and health industry events and doing more lunches and making connections, serving people in my workplace industry in a way that is loving and also promoting my business at the same time. So now that you've kind of started to think up everything, we want to take our eyes off the rearview mirror of 2021 and let's focus on the windshield that's in front of us. Let's focus on the windshield that's in front of us, which is 2022. It's bigger than the rearview mirror because that's where we need to be making most of our focus, taking most of our focus. We can get sideways by looking in the side mirrors. We can always be looking in the rearview mirror, but we're going to wreck if we constantly live in the side mirrors in the rearview mirror. Focusing on the windshield because that's the direction that we're going. And so who do you want to be in 2022? Who do you want to be in 2022? What beliefs do you want to hold? How do you want to show up for yourself, for others, for the plans and purposes that God has for your life, for your dreams? Who do you want to be in 2022? Take a second for that. Write it down. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be in 2022? What beliefs do you want to hold on to? And how do you want to show up for yourself, for your plans, for your vision, for your goals, for your intentions? What do you want to be? What beliefs do you want to hold on to? David says, I surrender all, lead and guide others in faith instead of fear. So tired of all the fear. Yeah. I think we're all tired of the fear, living in fear, right? Who do you want to be in 2022? How do you want to show up? How do you want to show up for 2022? What are your beliefs that you want to hold on to for yourself? And again, this is for you. This isn't for your family. This is for you. You can't control the other people in your life. The only people that you can control is yourself. How are you going to show up? Some things that I wrote down that may help you, and if you want to write down in the comments how you want to show up for 2022, what beliefs do you want to hold on to, how do you want to show up for yourself and for the vision and goals and purposes in your life, you can go ahead and put them in the comments for me. I love being able to read these back too. It helps me and encourages me as well. I want to show up as being the best lover of myself. You know, the scripture verse says, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love others as you love yourself. And I'm not saying to love to being the best lover of myself from a selfish standpoint, but self-care is vital to me being the best in every relationship that I have. And so I know that when I'm connected with God spiritually, and I am emotionally grounded and mentally focused and healthy and physically just in the best shape that I can be in through food and exercise and preventative health, that I'm loving myself. And I can take that love that's been freely given to me and the love that I have for myself and give that out to other people. And so for me, it's about how I want to show up in 2022 is being the best lover of myself. That nobody else is going to love me as much as I love myself. And so I want to be the best that I can be in loving me. Because then I know I can be the best in loving others. And I want to show up and be the best partner in my, new romantic relationship. I want to be the best daughter that I can be. I want to be the best sister I can be. I want to be the best auntie and aunt that I can be. I want to be the best friend that I can be. I want to be the best servant leader that I can be. So in order for me to do that, I want to show up confident in who I am and fully accepting who I am. I say this to everyone that I'm in close relationship with. I love you unconditionally. There's nothing that you could do that would make me love you any less. Nothing you could do or say. And there's nothing that you could do or say that would make me accept you any less. I accept you 100% for who you are. And so when I show up to a relationship unconditionally loving and accepting that person, then I believe it opens it up for an exchange of just, of no barriers, to being with one another. So being confident and outgoing and unconditional in my love and fully accepting of others. And when I say others, I mean my neighbor. And by my neighbor, I mean whoever's right next to me, whether it's a total stranger or my closest relationship. So, how do you want to show up in 2022? Kyle says, I want to be kinder and try to people who are not believers in God, and to try and help them to see that Jesus is the answer to life. And so it's a great way to show up, just to love God and love others, right? As we love ourselves. How do you want to feel in 2022? What feelings do you want to attach to this year? How do you want to feel? So attach emotion to it. Men, I think oftentimes we are, as men, you're problem solvers, right? And you fix things and you barrel through. You've got your goals, your plans, and you make things happen. But stop for a minute, if you will, gentlemen, and think about the feeling that you want to attach. Go a level lower than your head to your heart and attach some feelings. I think, gentlemen, sometimes we don't attach a feeling to it, which means we lose some of the meaning in the activities that we do. And ladies, I think for us, sometimes we over emotionalize the things that are going on, right? We're kind of the opposite. We put a feeling to everything, and so we're all over the place. But if you could just dial that down, how do you want to feel in 2022? How do you want to feel? And then write those in the comments for me. If you're wanting to share, I'm being vulnerable to share here, and so if you can, that would be great too. David says, treating myself as a true temple of the Holy Spirit each and every day, more giving, loving, and serving to all. Absolutely. How do you want to feel in 2022? Some things I've written down are, I want to feel accomplished. That the things that I have set up in my life that I've been working on, that I continue to move in the direction of getting those things accomplished. And I also put that I want to feel peace. Not that I haven't felt peace, because I have, but I just want there to be an assurance that comes into 2022 as I begin to map out the things that I have already planned to do for this year, to continue down that path. So I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel at peace. Then I want to feel joy. I don't want it to just be this fleeting happiness from whatever highlight reel comes up. I want there to be this steady joy that flows through, that no matter how difficult a relationship may get or a situation may get, that underneath all of that, there's still this joy, this foundation of joy from which I operate from. How do you want to feel in 2022? I'm going to give you something that I normally give to paid coaching clients, but I think I'm going to give it to you because I think it's a powerful tool, and I just thought about it right now, so I'm going to switch gears and go over and grab this content for you, because I want you, I really want you, I love you, and out of that love for you, I want to give you this as a gift, that hopefully this will help you to be able to set yourself up for a win, okay? There are several life areas. I want you to write down each one of these life areas. We're not going to go through all of them right now. I'm just giving you the content, but put some space in between each one of these as you write them down, because I want you to go back through and I want you to do this as you think about 2022. So I'll give you the exercise. We'll do one of them, and then we'll kind of move along from there. I'm going to give you life areas, okay? It's kind of I'm calling it, in the coaching that I do, life area assessment. And in this life area assessment, we take each area of your life and we give it a score, 1 to 10. 1 being it sucks, and 10 means this is the best ever. And based upon your current satisfaction in this area of your life. So I'm going to go ahead and give you these life areas for you to write down, so that you can then go back and give a score to it, okay? The first one is your emotional health. Your emotional health. This is when somebody begins to talk to you. I was talking to someone yesterday and she said, I was speaking with my ex-husband as we were doing kid exchange. And she said, we were just kind of saying, hey, this is the schedule for the weekend. It's the holiday weekend. And this is when we can have the kids back. This is what's planning for returning to school on Monday. And they're doing this exchange. And all of a sudden the ex-husband got amped up about something that came up about, hey, in the future, we need to talk about, you know, what's happening for this January event at school, when the husband was like, and he started getting riled up. And the ex-wife said, I was married to you for 20 years. So I realized that you're lashing out, you know, you're fine 1 minute, you're lashing out the next within a 2-minute conversation, and you're stressed. So I'm going to go ahead and let this, you know, issue go. But can we just be mindful that we're just talking about our kids? There's no need to to raise your voice and start yelling at me. And he dialed back down again, you know. And then it happened again. They talked about something else. She says, you know what? We've already done the exchange. We don't need to talk about this right now, but we do need to get this settled, you know, by the middle of next week, how we're going to handle these, you know, logistics. And then he dialed back down again once he was made aware. So it's his emotional health that's out of alignment. So where are you in your emotional health? Scale of 1 to 10, you know, what is your situation? How do you feel about that right now? Your spiritual health. This is your energetic connection with God, the creator of the universe, the divine essence of everything that exists. How are you connecting with God? Are you doing that through prayer, meditation? Are you fasting? Are you reading the Bible? Are you reading whatever devotional material is good for you in your spiritual connectivity? How is that coming into play for you? How is your spiritual health? Scale of 1 to 10. Mental health. Where are you in your area of mental health? Now, I also call this intellectual health. Mental and intellectual health, scale of 1 to 10. Where are you? Mental health is, you know, am I doing this stinking thinking? I talked to a man a couple of weeks ago, kind of coached him through some of the things. His house burned down, and he's had to rebuild it. He's did a lot of it himself. He's getting now down to the last part of the plumbing, and he's getting frustrated with it. And everything that he was talking about was negative. And he said, everything I come up against is one thing after another, and I should be farther along, and I should be this, and I should be that. And I said, listen, let's celebrate where you are right now. My gosh, look at how much you've done and accomplished. And then let's go back and let's look at all the wins. Because right now your mind is getting caught up in all the things and the challenges and the frustrations and the stuff you haven't gotten done. And that is stalling you out from continuing to move forward. So he realized he had some stinking thinking going on, and he needed to make reshift his mental focus. Where are you mentally? Intellectually, what are you doing to stimulate your brain? Are you doing some reading every day? Getting in new content. And I'm not talking about scrolling through social media or Reddit or anything like that. I'm talking about are you reading biographies? Are you reading stuff about earth, science, gardening? I mean, are you learning new things? How are you growing intellectually in your brain that's been given to you? Intellectually, where are you? Mentally, intellectually, on a scale of 1 to 10, what does that look like for you? Just put a number down what your satisfaction is in this area of your life. The next one is your physical health. Where are you in your physical health? How do you feel about where you are? With eating, sleeping, stress, exercise. And by exercise, I mean, some outdoor activity that you're engaging in nature that God has given to us. And how are you building stamina and endurance through some cardio activity physically? And then also, what are you doing to maintain strength? I just helped a friend, my boyfriend and I helped a friend of ours move yesterday. And my boyfriend and I are lifting couches and love seats and coffee tables, end tables, chairs. And I felt so good because I've put in the time in the gym to be able to go out and do these things. And I had such this great feeling of exuberance and satisfaction because I was able to help in a way that I could physically engage in the activity of serving another human being. So what have you done in order to, help with strengthening? I'm able to take kids and lift them and do squats with them like this. And I love being able to do that. And one of the reasons why I'm in the gym lifting is so that I can turn around and be able to positively engage kids in a way that's, loving and kind and physically interactive. Physical touch is my love language. So being able to do that, that's important to me. Where are you in your physical health? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with where you are? We've just talked about yourself and these core areas of your life, your heart, soul, mind, and strength, your emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical health. You can lump those in as one under your health, or you can divide those out and work on them individually depending upon where you are. But synergistically, it's what helps you live a life on purpose when all of these things are connected and running together. Because now that you're set and centered, David said earlier, your temple, then you can begin to go out and move and breathe and love and serve others in a way that's healthy for you and for them. So now I want to look at your romance. Where are you in your life of romance? For the last several years, I've been single. I've been in no exclusive relationship, and I have been satisfied to be in that season of singleness, but not content to stay there. So I've always been open to relationships as they've come forward to me, but and presented themselves as opportunities. But for me in this area, I've always listed it as a 10 in my singleness. Not always. When I first became single, I was like, man, this sucks. But then I embraced it and I'm like, man, this feels really good. Like this is a season for me, and to focus on growing and learning and adjusting and experiencing new things in life that normally I wouldn't do if I was with a partner. So I embraced my singleness, and it was a great season for me. And now I find myself in a romantic relationship, and not that I miss my singleness. It was a great season and a great ride, and I learned so much and did so much. But I'm happy in this season that I'm in. For some of you, this may not be a happy place. It not always has been for me. But in your area of romance, a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? Based upon your current situation, how do you feel about it? Your romance. It could be your partner, it could be your spouse, it could be a boyfriend, it could be whatever. What is your singleness, right? Family. If you notice, your romantic relationship with your spouse, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is different than that of your unit family. There's a priority that exists. Your kids will not always be with you. Your parents won't always be with you. Okay? If you're caring for them now or you're living with them now. So your family is separate. That core bond of relationship that you have with your partner, your spouse, that's going to be there, right? But then you have your family, which is dynamic in that it's always moving and breathing. Overall, where are you in your area of satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10 with your family, your immediate family? And for some of you, you may need to take that family and separate it out and say, my siblings my parents, my kids, my grandkids. So begin to separate that out. Begin to separate that out. And then move into the next life area, which is relationships. These relationships are vast. They could be co-workers, friends, schoolmates, people in areas of influence. They could be employees. They could be people in the community that you're co-laboring with in your, religious institutions, your churches. Any number of areas of your life. Maybe you play soccer, maybe you play basketball, maybe you have other activities that you do with people, maybe you have a walking group or something. These are the relationships. How are those relationships in your life? What is that satisfaction? Maybe you're in a place where you don't have those relationships, and so you're wanting to build those out this year. So 1 to 10, area of satisfaction in your relationships. Next, your money and your finances. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Money and finances. This is your earnable income, or the income that you have coming in if it's unearned. Some of you are receiving spousal support, child support, Social Security, workers' comp, unemployment. There are other avenues in where you're receiving money besides earning it. And then your finances. How are you with your spending and what you have left over at the end of the month? Is there more month than money? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in your money and finances? The next area is physical environment. Physical environment. This environment is your physical space that you live in, you work in. It's in your vehicle, it's in your garage, it's in your basement, it's in your house, it's in your workspace. Your physical environment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you in that area? It directly impacts how you show up to the goals and the plans and the purposes that you have for your life if you're in a space where you don't feel good in it. I've got just a couple more that I want to give to you. Recreation and fun. What are you doing for recreation and fun? And how satisfied are you with this area of your life? Maybe some of you for recreation and fun are doing things that are unhealthy. So might want to take a look at that. Maybe the people that you're hanging with in your recreation and fun are not healthy. And then again, maybe there are things you want to do, vacations, or I did skydiving this year. It was fantastic. I did that for recreation and fun. It was a great time. I went to a baseball game earlier in the year. I loved being able to go do that and see the fireworks for 4th of July. I went and saw the Van Gogh experience. So these are some things that I did for recreation and fun. How satisfied are you in this area? Are you doing enough? Are you not? And then the last one I want to give you is serving. Some of you may see this as volunteering. Some of you may see this as charity events. Some of you may see it as community service. How satisfied are you in this area? Maybe you don't do anything, Yesterday was an act of service in helping a friend move. But also, for the last several weeks, there's been a food drive that I've been participating in and helping to make the connection to get that food over to an organization. That's a community service that I'm doing. So how satisfied are you in this area of charity, volunteering, and serving? I don't believe that we're fully living unless we're giving back in a way that we don't get anything in return other than the intangibles that come with it. I'm giving you this life area assessment for you to look at so that on a scale of 1 to 10, you can go through these on your own time, okay? And what you want to do in each area, now that you've listed 1 to 10, the question that you want to ask yourself is, Write down what would need to happen in that life area to bump it up a number. So for example, in the area of physical health, let's just say you wrote a 5. That's how satisfied you are. Okay, that's not a 1, which is great, but it's not a 10 either. So you're not fully satisfied in this life area. So in the life area of physical health, you've listed it as a 5, for example. What is something that you could do that would bump that from a 5 to a 6 for you? It may be, hey, I'd like to get out and walk for 30 minutes 3 times a week. I would feel like that would bump me up to a 6 if I could do that. So you'll want to go through each life area. Your romantic relationship. Right now, it might be at an 8. Great, you feel good in it. What would make that a 9 for you? Again, we're not going across the scale and saying, man, in my romantic relationship, I don't have a romantic relationship, Patty Baker. You set a scale of 1 to 10. I'm writing a 0 on this one. So don't look at that and go, okay, well, what do I need to do to make it a 10? No, what do you need to do to bump it up a number? Just one number. Maybe it's, open up an online dating account. Maybe it's letting more people know that you want to start dating. Maybe it's serving in a homeless shelter, or serving in a community project where you might be meeting like-minded people, attending a Bible study, attending a singles group, something like that. So what is something that you can do? Again, we're not making these big ass goals, okay? We're just moving the meter one place. I think when we begin to look at, oh my gosh, we got the whole year ahead of us. Let's do all of these big things now. And we start to set on January 1st and we commit to it. And by January 15th, we're not all the way through the month, but we'll get some of this started. And you've got 10 things going on in one moment, and they're big projects. They're all over the place. And by the time you reach February, you haven't done a damn thing, and you're going, WTF, man, I'm done. Like, this year's done. I can't even get started. And the reason why is because we think so big that we miss all the small adjustments. It's just that I heard this from a friend of mine who is a friend of a plastic surgeon, and they do cosmetic surgery. And one of the things the cosmetic surgeon said is, you can make a world of difference in someone's face by doing a 2 millimeter adjustment. 2 millimeters. That's it. 2 millimeters. And the same is in life. You just take a 2 millimeter adjustment, and it's a game changer. And it may not look like a big thing, but just that little bit is enough to move you to the next step. Okay, 2 millimeters. A 2 millimeter shift makes a difference. 2 millimeters. So for you, if you're wanting to say, hey, I want to get out and walk, well, this week, when you get up in the morning, dress in clothing that you would go out and walk in, including your shoes, but don't go out. Just get in that habit of when you get up in the morning, you put on those clothes because you're going to go for a walk. Set your alarm for the time in which you need to get up and do that. So now you're getting up at that time, you're getting dressed at that time, but you're not really going out and doing it yet. It's just a 2 millimeter shift to get you there. And now you want to do 30 minutes a day, but if you can get up at that time, get dressed at that time, and go out for 5 minutes, it's a win. It's a 2 millimeter shift. And before you know it, you're out there 3 days a week walking in the morning for 30 minutes or in the evening or whenever. But take the 2 millimeter shift and make it happen. It's a game changer for you. Once you've been able to go through each one of these life areas as we wrap up for today, we've talked about a lot. Just as a quick recap, we went and looked in the rearview mirror at 2021. And we've surrendered it all. And now we're looking in the windshield, through the windshield, and moving forward. I've given you some life areas, and you may have some more that you want to look at or break down a little bit further. But assign a number to each one of those core life areas. And then ask yourself, what is one thing that I could do to move the number from where it is now to the next number up on the scale? What's one thing that you can do? And then once you've done that in all of your life areas, now what you want to do is review the life areas and prioritize the 3 most important to you. The 3 most important. Maybe it's your emotional health. Maybe you're all over the place and you need to get that kind of wrapped up. Maybe it's your money and your finances. That's the top one. How do you figure out what the top 3 are? Normally, they have the lowest numbers, so they need the most attention. Not all the time, but typically I found in my coaching sessions that those that are in the lowest areas are the ones that need adjusted first. So out of all these core areas, pick the top 3 that are the most important to you. Maybe your money and finances is at a 5 and you have some things that are lower on the list, like you've got a 1 in charity or recreation. But man, there are so many things attached to your money and finances. This one has got to be the priority. Okay, then move it there, right? And now what you want to do is commit to those top 3, the one thing that's going to take to move that over, move that number over and up on the scale from a 5 to a 6 or a 6 to a 7 or 7 to an 8, right? And once you're able to do that, schedule it out, put it on a calendar, set yourself a reminder. There's so much technology out there now. There's no reason why you can't begin to implement these steps. And for you, it may be, hey, I have got to find another job, or I have got to make more money, or I've got to, that's a pretty big goal. What's one thing that you can do to move that forward? Do you need to have somebody hold you accountable? Do you need to update your resume? You need to go to an employment agency? Do you need to, what do you need to do? Do you need to talk to your current employer? So what's like the next step that would help you to move yourself, up the scale of satisfaction in that life area? And then commit to it. Get somebody to hold you accountable for it. And write it. I often say if you can write it down, then you're putting physical to it. Mentally, you're focused on it. Put some emotion behind it, how you'll feel once you accomplish it, and then get it done. Get it done. 3, 2, 1, go, and you're out the door. I believe that you can have your best life ever right now. It's about being in a space and place of knowing that you're exactly where you need to be at this moment. Everything around you may feel chaotic, or in a certain area of your life may not feel that it's fully blossomed yet. But God has you exactly where you are to be right now. And you can sit around and you can pray that things can get better. But God has called us to be active in our life, active in our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. And so we have got to meet and show up and allow God to be the undergirding of that. And once you begin to engage your life purposefully, intentionally, in righteous living, you'll begin to see that as you look back at what you've just done in these life areas, go, man, this is amazing. I can't believe how much I've accomplished this year, right? So I believe that faith, F-A-I-T-H, David just said faith is an action word. Absolutely it is. But I believe faith is spelled R-I-S-K. And that means we have to take a risk. And so take that time today, go through these life areas, surrender 2021 and prior, focus on the now. And I recommend that you go through these once a month and say, okay, did I move up the scale here in this life area in my personal satisfaction? Yes or no? And why did I not? Are you going to be able to get through the list of 12? Maybe. But this past year, as I looked through all of my life areas, there was one life area that was moving forward, but so incrementally forward that I didn't reach the goal that I had set up for it. I wanted to open my home as a foster home for teen girls this year. It didn't happen. I'm still waiting on a final inspection and final visit into my home. I wanted this to be done already. But because I put other life areas as more of a priority, that one took less of a priority. It's still moving incrementally forward, but not at the pace that I had hoped. But I'm okay with where I am and what I've accomplished in that area this year. So don't beat yourself up on where you are. Celebrate where you are right now and incrementally move in the direction in the top 3 areas of your life. And once you can get those kind of rolling in your schedule, then dip down and do the next ones. And as you're prioritizing those, begin to move and breathe in that life area too. I'm here every Thursday evening from 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for a study. I use the ancient texts, also collectively known as the Bible. I know not the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Book of Enoch is not in there, but I believe that collectively they've been put together for us, and there's a lot to glean from the life of Jesus. If you want to join me on Thursday evenings, I'd love to be able to be there for you. If you want coaching in this area, send a message over the Live on Purpose page. Say, hey, I want to be held accountable. I want to dive into these areas. I've got some blockages here. We'll take 1 or 2 sessions to get it done for you. Somebody on my team will give you my calendar. You can sign up for that and be more than happy to help you. The fee is nominal for what you get out of it. I think it would be a blessing for you and I to be able to work together if you're looking to really nail down some of the goals that you have in your life. And until we meet again, love God, love others, love yourself, and have a great new year.